Column of Trajan, Bayeux Tapestry, and Night Attack on the Sancho Palace. All of these artworks are known as continuous narratives, if that wasn't already apparent. Although, as we may soon find, these artworks share much more similarities than just simply that. We start at the Column of Trajan. Column of Trajan depicts the Dacian War. The Dacians, led under King Decebalus, repeatedly threatened, raided, and invaded Roman territory, causing Emperor Trajan to launch 2 military campaigns against their powerful opponent. It opens with Roman soldiers crossing the Danube River using temporary bridge made of pontoons as they march into Dacian territory. The river goddess also depicted to signify divine approval of the Romans. Trajan then receives a message from the Dacians advising him to turn back. Refusing to do so, the first battle takes off in this very large scene. During these battles, Trajan also shows excellent virtues when he shows mercy to Dacian women and children, directing them into waiting ships. After more marches, battles, and speeches, many Dacian warriors finally surrendered to Trajan at the end of the First Dacian War. Dacian forces also agreed to destroy their own fortifications to render them incapable to fight anymore. Scene 76 is the narrative pause of the story and marks the division of the two Dacian wars. Depicted here is Nike, the Greek goddess of victory, telling not only of Romans' military success, but another example of divine approval. Anyhow, more marches and battles until Trajan decides to make an offering to the gods in order to gain support of the gods. Marches, battles, Roman troops build a fort for themselves near the end of the Second Dacian War. Loot a mule holding Dacian treasures, and as we reach the top, so does the Romans as they pursue King Decebalus, who choose to commit suicide rather than being captured. The head of King Decebalus is then presented and signified the Romans truly won, and ends in one last march. Nearly a millennium later is the Bayeux Tapestry. The Bayeux Tapestry depicts the events leading up to the Battle of Hastings and the battle itself. After King Edward died, there was dispute to who would take the English throne, yet Harold Godwinson was crowned king. This didn't sit well with the distant cousin of Edward who felt the throne was rightfully owed to him, William, Duke of Normandy, causing William to invade England and enforce his claim of the throne. It starts with King Edward instructing Harold to depart on a journey to Normandy. Harold set sail though was captured and then held prisoner. Luckily, William demands Harold to be brought to his court. Harold then accompanies William on his campaign. After being successful in their campaign, Harold swears an oath to William to him being crowned king. So once returning back to England, King Edward dies, and Harold is crowned king. Spies report to William of what Harold has done. William quickly makes efforts to prepare to invade England, setting sail and arriving at Pevensey, constructing castles for themselves while also destroying the houses there. Battle commences. Troops and horses fall as arrows fly everywhere, one of which strikes Harold in the eye. William rides out in victory as he is now crowned the new king of England. And finally, the Night Attack on the Sanjo Palace. The Night Attack on the Sanjo Palace depicts violent scenes from Japan's Heiji Rebellion. During a time of intense political instability due to previous struggles in Japan, two clans fought for the imperial court to gain more control over the government, Minamoto and Taira samurai clans. In order to drive themselves in gaining that control, the Minamoto clan decided to attack the Sanjo Palace to get the upper hand. It begins with the Minamoto clan launching a surprise raid onto the Sanjo Palace. Figures are crowded and overlapping, wheels are turning rapidly, and people fall down to be trampled that demonstrate the pure chaos of the scene. They reach the palace, barging in, and set it ablaze. As below, battle and slaughter commence. The Minamoto warriors are portrayed with beastly facial features as they cut heads off. Women of the palace flee and commit suicide in the well as to not be killed and or raped. It ends in the Minamoto clan exiting the palace with heads on their swords and leading the retired emperor out of the palace. All of these artworks show similarities in being continuous narratives, of course, but also in depicting warfare events. Dacian War, Battle of Hastings, and Heiji Rebellion all depict two sides pursuing for political power. Romans v. Dacians in asserting dominance between empires, William v. Harold in claiming the English throne, and Minamoto v. Taira in controlling the imperial court, all depict an elite narrative for each victor. Emperor Trajan, King William, and though not as pretty as the rest, the samurai warrior class proved to be effective in reaching their goal. And lastly, all depict the taking down of a high-status individual near the end of each narrative. King Decebalus, King Harold, and the retired emperor. How interesting.